Okay, so I want to talk about the burnout that you can experience whilst traveling and living and working remotely because, you know, recently it hit me quite hard and I didn't really expect it. I wasn't, yeah, there was like no indication of like, you're tired. And really it's because I've just been so excited and I've just been so good about everything that I've been trying to do everything at once. And I think my inner child is just like, oh my God, I love this. And I've been just keep doing it every day. And not realizing that I was gonna burn out from it. Yeah, so let's get into it, the kind of events that lead up to this burnout that you might experience. And I think for everyone who's traveling, it can come in like different forms, but for me it's always around just loving the people I meet at the hostel and then trying to juggle 6 hours of teaching and then trying to juggle building a creative career and doing creative things on the side. And obviously when you write down on paper all the hours that I'm putting towards these different things, of course I'm gonna burn out. Of course it doesn't make sense. I just get so excited that I find it hard to say no. And then obviously, you know, your body's naturally gonna tell you like, no, you need to sit down, you need to chill out. And I'm gonna make you feel sick so that you can sit down and chill out. So yeah, I think it's really important. Well, first is awareness, right? When you are aware of it and the patterns and the cycles and the things around it that trigger you into this behavior and this cycle, then you can kind of figure out, okay, what can I do to avoid this? I honestly feel like I can't say no. This first happened to me in Istanbul, and now it happened to me in Bangkok, where I just met people that I really enjoyed, and they were always doing things. And you know, I would teach 3 hours in the afternoon. Well, I'd wake up, I'll get ready for work, stuff like that. I'll teach 3 hours in the afternoon, I'll go back, I'll have lunch, and then I'll hang out with people, and they're either just like chilling in a cafe, or when I was in Istanbul, we were dancing on the rooftop at like 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. or even earlier in the afternoon. And then I'd go back and teach, and then I'd come back and hang out with the guys, and then we'd stay up to 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'd still like try and do some creative stuff on the side. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm hanging out with you guys, but I'm gonna write this thing at the same time. And then I'll do it over and over again. For like a week or 2 weeks, and I'm like, I know I'm burning out. I know I'm burning out, and I know I need to slow down. But I'm just so happy, and I'm so excited, and I'm so in love with this that I can't stop. So I think in that I need to reassure myself and my inner child that it's okay, you're not missing out. And I think there is a fear of missing out. I've always had massive FOMO. I once mentioned before, like my mom never let me out when I was like a child in my primary school, secondary school, college. It was always very restricted, very strict. If I was able to go to a friend's birthday party, I had to like fucking beg, and I had to pre-prepare like a month in advance, and I had to give my mom everyone's details that was involved in this excursion, and I had to give her updates. It was a very stressful thing, and I was always very scared of asking my mom if I could go out and hang with my friends. Anyway, because I never went out a lot, I would always see my friends get up to things, birthday parties, and I just had even holidays. Like we didn't go on holiday until 2012, I think, or 13 or 14. We didn't go on holiday for ages. I didn't go on holiday, so I moved to the UK when I was 5 years old, and I think the first holiday I had was when I was 17. So I always had massive FOMO about my peers doing things, going on holiday, traveling, having parties. I went to a girls' school, so also massive FOMO about girls meeting boys and like, you know, parties and stuff like that, and I was like, fuck, I'm missing out on everything. So I think especially as well when, you know, time is so short and so limited when you meet great people, and maybe I'm here for 5 days and they're here for 2 days, and maybe I'm here for a week and they're here for like 7 days. You just want to hang out with them as much as possible and enjoy the time that you have together. And yeah, for me at least, to burn out, because I'm just doing 20,000 things at the same time, and I just don't really realize it just because I'm having so much fun. But yeah, so I think that's something that if you're working and living abroad, and if you're navigating a business, creating a business, a new career, anything like that, something new, and that's going to take a lot of mental and physical energy out of you, emotional energy. I think it's hard to find that balance, you know, because as well, traveling and living remotely, that also takes a lot of energy out of you. So it's like, how do you navigate and how do you balance these things? Balance. And obviously, when I'm in these phases of meeting people and having so much fun, my self-care routine goes out of the window. No meditation, no tarot, no exercise, no like me time. So I need to remember these things to keep me steady, to have a strong foundation. And of course, things are going to change, things are going to fluctuate, things aren't going to be perfect all the time, but it's important that I remember this so I don't end up just like flatlining. Because when recently, I was just having lots of fun with the people that I met in this hostel, and I made a video with them, and after that video, my head, I had the worst migraine ever, like ever, and I never get headaches. And I think that was a massive, because I was like making a video with them, editing videos, posting videos, doing the photo shoot, teaching, writing, just all this stuff, hanging out with people, socializing, traveling around the city, and obviously I was gonna crash, and so I had this migraine, and I was like, oh, it's probably time I should slow down. And we were, you know, a group of 5, maybe 6, kind of weaving in and out, and we were down to 3 because the others had left, and one of the girl with us, Ashley, who I mentioned before, she was going to Cambodia, and then it was me and Michael who was still around this hostel. And I remember saying to Michael, because he was like, oh, you want to hang out, I've got a projector, you want to watch a movie, blah blah blah, and I was like, I need some me time, I need some alone time, because I am depleting. And then the next day when I woke up, and I was like, oh, my head feels better, and I was like, okay, well, Michael's doing his own thing today. And then I just felt like so lonely. I was like, shit, where's Michael? I want to hang out, even though I've got work to do, and I should probably be focusing on that and focusing on feeling good again, mentally, physically, emotionally. I want to hang out with someone. And I guess that's also what happens a lot when you're traveling. You meet people, you have a great time, and it's very, very intense for a few days or for a few weeks. And then people start parting ways, and then you suddenly feel lonely, because I don't feel lonely often. And this time it just hit me really, really hard. I woke up and I was like, I feel lonely. And I was like, fuck, mate, like fucking last week you were so about having all of your time to yourself and not hanging out with anyone. But I guess that's what happens when you open your heart and you just love people fully and wholeheartedly for a few days, 24/7, for a week or so. Yeah, so all these little things that no one really talks about when you're traveling. Everyone just thinks about like, oh, you're going to a really cool place and you're going to this many countries and you're eating all this food and you don't have to, you know, stick to a steady schedule or a 9-to-5 job. And I'm like, well, you know, yeah, like everything, there are so many pros and cons. It's not perfect. And these are new things that I have to figure out, and other people have to figure out as travelers, how to manage and how to navigate. You know, I think recently I'm coming to the conclusion that I need a balance of, I think last year I was super cool with just like being by myself all the time, and if I meet people, that's cool, and if I don't, that's cool. But now I'm like, actually, I think I need a rotation of some months and weeks to myself and some months and weeks with people who I know are just gonna like be my core foundation for a few weeks or a few months. And I think going to New Zealand is great because my friend lives there now and I can just like hang with her and have that yeah, and have her in my life for like 2-3 months. You know, someone who I can always go home to and ask about like, how's your day, what are you up to, and I can just open up to. You know, when you're always meeting people, you're like, okay, how do I navigate this relationship? What can I say with them? What can't I say with them? I've got to start over again, which is what I hate. I hate starting over again. But obviously with someone that you know, you can just jump right in it, you know, deep dive. And I think that's great to have. And I think that I'm like realizing a year and a half in traveling, or like 21 months into traveling, that is important to me right now, to have someone, have a steady foundation with people for a few months. It's super, super important. Yeah. I think another part of this burnout is because I am doing new things that I've never done before, and I'm trying to figure out how to allocate my energy. I'm realizing how much I need to give to each thing, and it's gonna, yeah, of course it's gonna feel super wobbly at the start, and I'm gonna overexert myself because I'm really just like doing everything at the same time and finding my stride, and so I kind of accept that, and like, yeah, of course it's gonna feel super strange, but it's not a sign that I should stop, and it's not a sign that it's not gonna work, but it's just a sign that you are moving into a new chapter. And if you're moving into a new chapter, you're shedding the old ways and letting go of the old ways and that you used to do things, and it's gonna start you feel uncomfortable moving into this new phase. And yeah, and I think one thing I have to remember is like all the times I've had new jobs, of course, you know, you're always like training and trying to figure out how to navigate the environment, people, the job description, like what do they expect from you, yeah, how do you fit in with your colleagues, and a lot of the time, yeah, I'm working with parents and working with kids, and obviously they've got parents, so how do I build a rapport with kids and with parents? And it's the same as this, you know, if I'm building my career, creative career, and navigating like photography and videography and writing and expressing myself in new ways, and just, yeah, everything is new. Everything is so new, and we always fantasize about the thing that we want, but we never think about what it takes to do these things. You know, if I want to interview people, as I mentioned before, there's so much I need to know about that process of interviewing people, you know, and that is something I have to start learning and becoming knowledgeable in if I want to commit to this and if I want to pursue this. So yeah, it's all new, and that's okay. And I think maybe this was something I was also fearing. I think, you know, when you start doing something new, especially like when you start a new career, a new job, it's like, and I've had a lot of jobs, and I think for me it's like, oh my god, I can't be bothered to retrain myself in this area. I just want to use what I have. And it's like, well, don't you want to change careers? Don't you want to change jobs? Isn't that what you've been talking about for so long? And if that's what you want, you're going to have to accept that you need to train yourself in new ways. You need to feel uncomfortable in new ways, so that you can, you know, gain the skills and the knowledge and the experience that you need to master this, to be good at this, to be successful at this. And I think before I was like, no, not ready. And I get, there's never a time that you're ready. I think just this time I was like, fuck it, we're just gonna try, and it's not bad. It's not so bad. It's, yeah, I keep saying this. I think my new favorite word is wobbly, but yeah, it's gonna be wobbly, and that's okay. But I prefer to feel wobbly doing this than wobbly doing a fucking job I hate with someone telling me to do shit that makes no sense, and with people that I don't enjoy working with, and with people who aren't passionate and honest about what they're doing. So yeah, I would prefer doing this any day. And yeah, and I also, like, when I was, it's a really weird jump that you have from two different mindsets. So my mindset was like, I don't know how to do this, I'm not sure about it, how am I gonna make money, doubt, fear, and then like to like, oh, I'm just doing this now, oh cool. It's so weird. It's like just things just like clicking, and you're like, nice. And that's great. That's a great feeling. That's a fantastic feeling. And it's like, well, what were you fearing this whole time? You were so ready, you were so capable, this was easy, this was quick, because you decided that it was time to just do it. And but one thing is definitely dealing with the overwhelming that you feel, because I went from like not taking action and not making things and not doing the things that I had inspiration on, to like doing everything at the same time. And I was like, oh my god, this is so overwhelming. I kind of feel like I'm drowning, but I actually really love what I'm doing. And so yeah, it's like, how do I navigate that? How do I navigate those feelings? How I pace myself. And I think that also goes back to like putting too much pressure on myself, and maybe if I wasn't putting pressure on myself to make things happen really quickly, I wouldn't feel so overwhelmed. But I also feel like I just get so excited and inspired that I'm gonna move really quickly, because I just have so many ideas and I just want to catch them really quickly. I just want to catch them really quickly so I can just create, express, put it out there, and then on to the next thing. I don't want there to be a huge backlog, which I honestly feel like I've got years of backlog that I'm trying to catch up on, because I've just avoided pursuing this career for so long. But yeah, it's interesting, and I should be grateful. I'm grateful. I feel good. I'm in a state of flow, and that's amazing. That's where I want to be. So many new things that come into play, and it goes back to like nothing is perfect. Like, yeah, I'm in a state of flow doing what I love, but I'm overwhelmed and I'm burnt out because I'm just so excited. But that's just it, right? How do we navigate this? How do we enjoy it? How do we see it as a positive thing, not a negative thing? And have fun with it. Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect, but if you're doing what you love and you feel good, then that is perfection itself.